Hi, Rory. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for asking. So I guess I just wanted to start. You're coming up on your 5-year anniversary with your fight with Robbie Lawler. And I mean, many people think that's the best fight of all time. I guess I wanted to ask you, do you see that as the best fight of all time?
It's probably up there, I guess. There's been so many good ones, but I appreciate people who who like that fight. Obviously, would have been nice to be on the winning side of it, but it goes down in some kind of history of the sport, and it propelled my name in the sport. So I'm grateful for it.
Awesome and good luck.
Up next, Daniel.
Hey, Rory, this is Daniel from Cage My IQ. Being it as you're one of the biggest signees in PFL history, what have you done to get ready for your fight? And then how do you feel about the format that enticed you to sign with PFL?
Yeah, so I recently went down to Sanford MMA to train for this upcoming fight. I've been doing a lot of work at TriStar and with my kickboxing coach, Crew Ash in Montreal. But about a month before my training camp, I had moved to Sanford because where I'm living, they really shut down everything because of COVID. So I wasn't able to train for a fight there. So I've been doing my preparation there at Sanford, and it went really well, feeling good, and looking forward for the season. Sure.
Next question will be from Harry Mack.
Hey, Rory, Harry Mack from the Bookies Basement. I hope all is well. So you kind of touched on it just now a little bit, but so Faraz Zahabi has been very vocal lately about, I guess what he views as kind of excessive police visits and restrictions from the government there. So I guess I just kind of wanted your personal take on the situation.
Yeah, I think that the government in Canada is really overreaching their power, and they're trying to make a lot of changes to our country, um, and there hasn't been much resistance. So there's been a lot of changes happening in my country for the worse, in my opinion. It's pretty upsetting.
Got it. Well, thank you very much. Best of luck on Thursday.
Thanks.
Up next, Breeze.
Hey, Rory, this is Breeze from the MMA Breeze. Wanted to ask you, in coming to the PFL, did you consider any other organizations? And if so, what brought you to the PFL specifically overall?
I was considering all organizations. What the deciding factor for me was the financial aspect of it. PFL presented the best offer and is the best contract of my career thus far. So I was very excited to move with them. And, besides that being the main reason, I really was intrigued by the format. I liked, the fact that I would be busy. I would know my schedule for the year, and also I feel like the growth of PFL in the next couple of years is gonna really rise to the top of the top echelon promotions in this sport.
Right on. Thanks so much, Rory. Good luck with the tournament.
Thanks.
Up next, Brady Austin.
Hi, it's Brady Austin from Behind the Grind. And have you made any switches in training after you figured out that you'd be fighting Curtis Millender on short notice?
Not really that much. He's a taller guy, so just more mentally, making my adjustments because I know, through years of experience of how to fight, taller kickboxers and things like that. So there wasn't really a lot of time to adjust. I think it was a couple weeks ago that they announced it, but the work was pretty much done at that point. But I'm very confident in my ability to adjust on the fly. So those kind of like opponent changes, it doesn't really affect me because I feel very confident fighting a broad range of different styles.
Thanks, Rory. Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
Dylan.
Hey there, Rory. How's it going?
Good, you?
I'm doing well, thanks. But you were kind of talking about that confidence, just being able to fluidly adapt with whoever you're getting out there to fight. Is that part and parcel with just like the multitude of bodies and styles that you get to work with at Sanford MMA there?
Yeah, and just over the years, of training for, I think I've been training now in mixed martial arts for like 17 years. So you come across all different body types and styles. I've fought quite a bit of different martial arts styles. So, with that experience, been able to feel pretty comfortable adapting to them.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like per your social media, very family oriented. Has this bubble experience been a great deal difficult being away from the family? And just as a broader question, how has the bubble experience been overall?
Well, I've handled it pretty well. I made sure that mentally going into it, I was ready for this. I wanted to make sure that I had a positive mind frame on it and not to bring in any negativity into it, because I feel like dwelling on those kind of things will not be beneficial for me. So I wanted to make myself, even before I got here, prepared mentally to go through it. So I've been flying through it with ease. My preparation for it was good, and yeah, obviously I miss my family, but I'm here to do my job, and I'm focused on that.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, Rory.
Barcelona.
Hey, Rory, I was just curious if you could expand a little bit more about being at Sanford MMA, that tremendous newer facility, and also if you had any conversations with Robbie or did even any sparring with Robbie since he's there as well.
Yeah, Sanford's amazing gym. Best facility I've been to by far. They have everything a professional athlete could ever want. So I've been very blessed to be able to train there. Henry, Greg, Kami, all the coaches, the fighters, everybody's been great, welcoming. They're a hardworking team, and it's been a pleasure to prepare for a fight with them. And the facility obviously has just been amazing because able to have everything we need under one roof. Um, as far as conversation with Robbie, yeah, we talk quite a bit. Super down to earth guy, regular conversation, nothing too fight oriented. And yeah, I think we've done some training together. Not much, but we have done a little bit.
Well, I know you guys with the eating, you have to be careful when you're getting ready for fights, but have you checked out Doris's Italian market yet in Coral Springs or Boca?
No, not yet.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ronald.
This is Ronald E. Smith from Getting Real. Roy, how are you doing?
Doing good.
You have been you have been in the fight game for so long, and it's always hard, as they say, to keep the fire burning. So with yourself in a new company, how have you been able to keep yourself motivated through this?
Well, thankfully, I'm remotivated, goal oriented, and focused on getting to that goal. For about a couple years prior to signing with PFL, I had kind of been going through a slump of losing that fire, the desire to train, desire to fight, but I was going through the motions. But I thank God that, kind of around when COVID hit, beginning of 2020, I found, new inspiration in the sport. I found my desire to achieve something, to set a goal and go forward, and that's been my motivation, figuring out my why. Why am I doing this?
Thank you very much.
Christy Santiago.
Hi, Roy. Chris from MMA Island here. Your former UFC compatriot Anthony Pettis made his PFL debut last week. Can you give me your thoughts on his performance?
Yeah, I thought it wasn't his best performance. Clay got in his face and really put the pressure on him for the first 2 rounds. He was able to come back strong in the third and land that big head kick, but it seemed to me that he was waiting too much. I don't know what the factor is, why he wasn't pulling the trigger as much, or if he was looking for a big flashy knockout. But Clay brought it to him, got in his face, and made it a really difficult fight for him. So just shows you can't sleep on anybody. Coming from a big organization like UFC, you got to fight everybody as if it was your championship fight.
Got it, got it. And before the fight, he said that he said that he's most definitely gonna go up to 170. So do you think that fight would interest you in the future? And do you think that you would entertain that fight as a super fight?
Absolutely, I would be interested in that. When he first signed, I thought he was going to be at 170. I thought that was going to be a great addition, but he bounces between the two. So if next year he decides to go to 170 for PFL, absolutely, I think that would be a great matchup.
Awesome. God bless you.
Head kick audio.
Hey, Rory, this is Steve from Head Kick Audio. You've been in a lot of great fights, a lot of wars, and with that comes damage. So over the past, year during your, COVID break, have things healed up, and are you excited to make your PFL debut?
I'm healthy as a horse. I had the best shape of my life, mentally, physically, spiritually. I'm rock solid. So I thank God for my health and the position I'm in right now.
Thank you very much, sir.
Suki.
How's it going, Rory? Fellow Canadian here. So you kind of talked about how you had to leave home, TriStar, and even spend more time at Sanford. I mean, do you see this having a long-term effect with COVID and kind of the bigger gyms with good athletes and all these new, facilities? Do you see that having a long-term effect, with GSP and you, such pioneers for us over here?
I'm not sure I understand the question. What is stretching out long term?
Sorry, just, with the idea that COVID and even kind of the bigger gyms that we have going on in the States, do you see that having some kind of an effect on, long-term gyms over here that, had so much success with fighters like GSP, yourself, and maybe now it's a little bit harder for fighters to kind of make their way out of there with COVID, and even now some of the bigger gyms where they kind of can poach some of our better fighters just because they have the training partners, the facilities, things like that?
Well, COVID's just slamming the brakes on our entire country.
Mhm.
We have no economy, and they're really putting pressure on gyms to stay closed. So I think that's it's an issue that as Canadians we all need to be worried about. What's really going on behind the scenes? What's their agenda? And all this, we've seen a lot of success from the places that have opened up and have went back to normal life, and I hope the same thing for Canada soon. But
Thank you, Rory. Thanks for everything you've done for the sport over here.
Yeah, to answer your question, it's really going to depend on the restrictions. When things are going to start opening up, so people can get their businesses back opened up, and it goes for the gyms too.
Thanks, Rory.
Mike Owens.
Hello, Rory. This is Michael from Mike Owens Media. You've been one of the best welterweights on the planet for over a decade now. With that being said, how do you view the standard of the PFL welterweight tournament this season?
I'm very confident. I think they did a great job with getting some of the best talent around the world. I'm super excited to compete against all of them, and I do feel that I will be the champion at the end of the season, though.
And out of interest, is there somebody who you look at in the weight class who you think could potentially be your toughest test?
Well, it's hard to say. Everybody poses their own dangers, I just try to focus on my own ability and fighting my own fight and take it as it is. We see guys all the time take certain people too lightly and not fight them hard enough, and they lose the upsets, lose an upset fight to them. So I try not to do that. I take everybody as my championship fight.
Thank you for the time, Rory.
Nadeem?
Hi, Rory. It's Hamad Mir from MMA Diagnosis. You were talking about the schedule in the PFL that appealed to you. I was just wondering, knowing that if you win each fight, you guaranteed got 4 fights within the year. How do you kind of change your training in a sense to occur so that you may not get injury? As in a typical organization, you may fight once a year and then you don't know when you're fighting next. How do you kind of adjust?
Sure. Yeah, I think it's just being able to be consistent in the training room, being able to set a certain pace and tempo in the room, and not having, not doing things stupidly or trying to take too many risks in the training room either. Just consistent work, staying healthy, and peaking for those fights rather than massive peaks and valleys and taking time off in between fights and things like that.
Following up to that, obviously this season they don't have the 2 fights in one night format. Is that something as a competitor you're looking forward to, or is it kind of a relief that you don't get to fight twice in one night?
Yeah, it's something I recently just found out. I actually didn't even know that. So yeah, I was a little disappointed because it's something that, would have been a new thing in my career to test myself, but it's just going to be another normal fight for me. So it's all good either way.
Thank you, Rory, for the time. Good luck for your fight.
Thanks.
All right, let's take 2 more. Tariq.
Hey, doing, Rory? It's Tariq with the Havoc Hour. So obviously, you were the first major signing, and there was a lot of notoriety with that. So with that, also, the inactivity, not being able to fight last season, and also we saw Anthony Pettis' debut getting spoiled. Do you feel any added pressure going into your debut on Thursday?
No, not at all. I'm really happy to be here and very hungry to get after it. It's been a long time coming. I've put a lot of work and sacrifice over 2020 and the early part of this year. So I'm kind of used to long layoffs anyway in my career, unfortunately. So nothing really new for me. I'm just going to go out there and do my best.
And also, really quick, we mentioned all the accomplishments that you had, that amazing fight with Robbie Lawler, being a champion in Bellator. Where would winning the PFL championship rank in your accomplishments for you?
It's up there at the top with winning, my championship at Bellator and, my run in the UFC. It would be right up with all of those,
All right. Thanks a lot, Rory. Good luck this Thursday.
Thank you.
Last question. Drew Pierce, please.
Hey, Rory, Drew Pierce, FightLeap.com. Is there a certain aspect of Curtis's game that you really have your eye on in preparation for the fight? And do you have an official prediction as to how it'll go?
Yeah, I'm looking to, stop him as early as I can, try to rack up as many points as possible. But that being said, I'm not going to rush anything either. I'm just going to fight my fight and see how it goes. Curtis is, he's an excellent striker, very dynamic kickboxing game. So I'll just make sure to stay away from all his best options.
Thank you and best of luck.
Thanks.
All right,